What's going on, YouTube? Today we're talking about Chris's story, and we're talking about how he went from working at a call center, worked his way up through the dev positions, and now he's making over 6 figures, and how he did that, his story. It wasn't always easy for him, and then, some life advice. He's a really good guy, and he has a really, I think, relatable story, and I think that you guys will appreciate it. He's a really cool, down-to-earth guy, and kind of reminds me of my own. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there in similar positions looking to do what he's done, and if anything, I hope you take away some inspiration from this. If you'd want to talk to Chris, he is in the Discord. The link for that's in the description. His name's Chris Not Nice right now. Who knows what he'll change his name to later. If you're interested in becoming a self-taught developer, or you're looking for options on how you can do what he did, there's a whole bunch of links in the description. Treehouse, Pluralsight, some bootcamp links, all that stuff. All those links support the channel. Just trying to be transparent. But if you're interested, there's some resources down below. Also, I just want to say thanks to the patrons that support the channel. I couldn't do all I do without you guys. I probably should change this perk because I'm sure that you're getting tired of me shouting out your name every video, and I make a video every day. But anyways, Flaslow, the Margin Fee, DJ Richie, Craig, Armand, Daniel, appreciate you guys. If you'd like to be shout out, that's a perk. Sellout Saturday, I guess. If you've ever considered a Patreon and you're just like, that's some dude on the internet, I would never give him money. That's fine too, I get it. But if you want to see more stories like this, more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. But enough about me shilling. This is about Chris and his story. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, so this is Chris. He's been developing for like 5 years. Chris, tell us your background. What got you into coding?
Hey Patrick, hey Nathan. I speak to you guys pretty much more than anyone else in the Discord, so I have to give a shout out to you guys. What got me into development? I fiddled with computers for a long time, like many of you guys, when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. But I didn't start to code until I was, I want to say 13, creating little mini viruses, I would call them. They weren't really viruses. I wasn't hacking anything, but in my mind, I was really doing something. I was always good at school. I was obedient as far as homework and stuff goes, right? Because that's really all it takes up until freshman year when I got my first, experience with girls or whatever, I'll be honest. And my grades started to tank a little bit, really coming into what I wanted to do. So I joined what's called the Interfaith Youth Corps, which is just a group that would bring together all religions, and we would go and participate in some festival. We would meet with different government officials and talk, things like that. And you were supposed to be in college, like always be at food pantries, donating food, going to Goodwill, working with them to hand out the clothes. They were donating my own clothes and stuff like that. Like I was always doing that all the way up until, like I told many of you guys, I ended up going to Africa and building or helping to build a clinic, library, some houses, things like that. Like I really wanted to walk in that. So when I graduated, my GPA was like non-existent. So there were 500 and I want to say 20 something students. And I had the 514th lowest GPA. I wanted to continue down that path of serving and living in that. I want to help make the world a better place or be the change I want to see, things like that. And then boom, I'm having a baby. All right, I need to be here. I need to make something shake here. And so I got a job at the zoo, which led me to a job at this other distribution center, factories, warehouse, wherever I could be. I needed to be making money so I can help out. And I did go to college. I went to ITT Tech, which is no longer a college, so it doesn't count. I ended up at a call center. While I was in the call center, it was like 8 buddies of mine. We're all like, man, I found this website, Code Academy, and I think we should learn how to build websites and stuff like that because they're going to be hiring soon for developers. You have the call center in the building on site. We have several call centers, but the one I was a part of was in the building with all of the 3rd level, 4th level, 5th level developers. And so all of us wanted out. If you've ever worked in a call center, you want out. And so while I was very good at my job in the call center and I could have gotten promoted, well, I did get promoted a few times, but I could have gotten promoted all the way to manager. That's cool. But after the first day of writing HTML, that HTML web page that they help you out with Code Academy, the first project, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. I went home. I started to make websites at home. Come back into work. I was missing calls. All I wanted to the Code Academy HTML and CSS course. I was creating emails just to do this course over and over again because I loved the HTML and CSS. That's what got me into coding. I mean, and then I got into the other stuff, but that's what got me into coding.
Before I started recording, you were talking about having like a mentor. So if you're starting in HTML, CSS, the world of development is 5,000 times bigger than just those two things. So how'd you get past that? How'd you get the JavaScript and stuff?
I knew what I wanted to make after a while. Like, hey, I want to make a website where I can I can do reviews on games and stuff like that. I wanted to recreate IGN, but make it better, right? Like I wanted to recreate IGN, and I learned JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, jQuery, and PHP. That was it. I went into WordPress, learned about that, and I started to work on this website. And all of that was great until I got cocky. And so I started to apply for jobs. Now, by this time, all of the 7 buddies, they all stopped doing it. They didn't like developing at all. I got an opportunity to shadow someone. I shadowed with him, and he did something in JavaScript, and I'm watching him. Like he's doing it on his screen. There's 3 monitors, and so he was doing it on the center monitor. I'm looking, and I'm like, I can do that. So I get even more cocky. Right. So my arrogance is just skyrocketing right now because I know jQuery and JavaScript, HTML and CSS. That's it. And a little bit of PHP. 7 months later, I get an interview. So the dude that I shadowed with, I get an interview with his team. In walks the manager that I would eventually be working with. His name is Eric Chrisman, who's from the city I live in now. And none of these guys look like the generic developer, you know what I mean, that you see on the movie and stuff like that. So they all look casual, they're all relaxing. Eric's the manager slouching in his chair like this. You know, it's just not what I imagined. These guys like regular dudes. And so Eric puts his feet on the thing, on the table, whatever, and he's like, well, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I was talking to the guys before the manager got in there. You know, I'm confident. I'm a little bit more cocky than confident, but I'm confident. I'm like, yeah, man, I built these websites in HTML and CSS, and I used some jQuery and JavaScript and PHP, blah, 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 blah. Carl says, so what's your most recent project? I'm like, I use WordPress, some. And I think he said, like, no, like not like WordPress. What else what's your most recent like website you built? Yeah, man, I'm working on this website now with HTML and CSS and a little JavaScript to do X, Y, Z with the buttons and stuff like that. And he's like, sounds cool. What's your backend? What is a backend? So in my mind, I'm like, what is he talking about? I didn't know at the time that PHP was a backend. It's a backend layer. I didn't know JavaScript could be a backend. Like I didn't know what the backend was at all. I say, well, what do you mean exactly? He said, well, how are you where's the data going? How are you bringing the data to the front end? And I'm like, well, what is a front end? You know, it's like if I'm like, what's the back end? What's the front end? And so I just say WordPress. That whole interview from that point was rough. I was sweating bullets. My shirt was drenched. I'm like, oh my God, they found out. I don't know anything. If I don't know what a back end is, because from that point on, the whole conversation was about the back end because it was for a Java position. I feel like I'm taking a lie detector test and I just have to, like, everything has to be right. Like, no, I have not done anything with Java, but I can learn it. You give me any amount of days, I will build something in Java. I will learn it. I was investing in myself by purchasing Udemy courses and things like that to learn and to advance my future. I think that's what got me the job ultimately.
But it wasn't technical?
I bombed that interview. No, it wasn't. There were technical questions like API related, like how to connect to an API and stuff like that, which I didn't know. I was literally building static websites and storing data in arrays. That's it. Like,
all right.
That's all I was doing. Yeah. So
after that job, or how long did you work there, and then how many other jobs have you had until, I guess, where you're at right now?
With Code Academy, Udemy, and all that stuff, I had a pretty solid foundation with HTML, JavaScript, and PHP. I did that for about 2 years. And then when I got the job, been there for 3 years, and I still work there now. Since I've worked there, so from the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP, we'll set that to the side. Here's what I had to learn for what I was told to be a Java position. Like that's it, right? Java position. And you know that some job descriptions will just say that. Like, so I had to learn Perl, Corn Shell, all scripting. I had to learn SQL. So the differences between DB2, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, all of that. I had to learn Java. I didn't have to, but I learned C Sharp. I learned React, Angular. I learned what I believe to be damn near everything because I had to use it all. Some projects I would have to put it all together and be a full stack dev for one project. But frequently, man, I mean, with a company that big, you're thrown from one project to another, given limited resources. And you can't say, I don't know it, so I won't do it. It's always, I don't know it, I can find out how to do it, and I got you. But when you have a really solid, and you have a solid relationship with your manager, you don't mind saying, man, I know you believe in me, and that helps me believe in myself, and I believe in this team. So I know I can go out, or that gives you the confidence to say, I know I can go out and learn this piece of technology to get this project done. He would make sure that we had enough in our budget to account for training. I mean, like paid courses, all that. I mean, he would make sure we scheduled at least 2 hours, if not a day, a week. Not a day, but at least 2 hours a week dedicated to personal development. If I would have worked anywhere else, I would probably not be a developer today. Just because of stories that I hear about a lot of companies, like even that, right, where you can't get the help you need. If you can't get the help, or if the resources aren't there to help you succeed, I'm not saying that you're destined to fail or that they're setting you up for failure, but if the resources aren't there to help you succeed, to push you forward, I can't see how new developers succeed in that kind of environment. So even in the call center, I mean, I've seen guys damn near almost, they just want to sit there and do nothing. If you ever apply for a position, if anyone ever applies for a position, don't say, I just want to get somewhere and stay there and do my job as best as I can do, because that is incredibly unattractive to them. They want you to say, I want to get in, learn what I can, and move up in the chain, because they will push you forward. I mean, hard. So I always have the resources to help me succeed, man. Always. Like, not like handouts, like here's the answers, but oh, you need to learn this, here, I got you.
How many hours a day do you code?
It depends, man. So from today, right, the last time I coded, the last day was maybe 3 to 4 days ago. I coded. But so coding and working, right? So some days you work like at your job, and if your salary, at least, I can speak for the salary guys, you might go a whole day working in, I don't know, doing support tickets or something like that. You might go 3 hours. I mean, basically, you won't be coding enhancements all the time, or you won't be coding a website from start to finish. It wouldn't happen because you don't have the money to do that. You don't have, your company or your team doesn't have the money to just say, we need you to recreate this overnight. Each minute you plug into work has a cost to it. Each hour has a cost to it. So yeah, how much do I code a day? Now I have worked for, I think I said this, up to like 30 hours before. But the following day, after the day and a half, I didn't have to work that next day. During production deploys, with at least on my team at the time, you had to test after the deploy. And so I did a deploy, I worked that day. So there goes 8 to 9 hours. Then I did the deploy, but I had to prep the deploy. So there goes another 8 to 9 hours. And then it broke. And so there goes another, sadly, 8 to 9 hours. And it was definitely more than that, because at the time I didn't really know what to do when something broke to that extent. And so I tried to fix it myself for a few hours, 3 to 4. So I ended up paging out different teams, shared services teams, to say, hey, There's a problem with the servers. I need help with this. And so someone tried to hack a website. And that call, and it was a website for my team. That call lasted, maybe it wasn't 30 hours. Maybe it was like 26 or something like that. But that call lasted like 13 hours. Like it was mad long, like for no reason. It was, I mean, everybody who was anybody was on that call.
So you started at the call center, and you made, I'm assuming you were hourly there.
$13 an hour in a call. Yeah.
And now 3 years later.
I don't know what that equates to in the thing. Yeah, 3 years later.
So yeah, 3 years later, you're moving up the chain. You're a developer now. I assume you're remote, at least sometimes.
Yeah.
What's it look like now?
So you guys have been wondering about the pay for a long time in the Discord chat. There's a reason why people don't talk about pay after so far up the corporate chain. Like, I know personally, not in my company, but I know two dudes that work from the same team in the same company on the same level that when one gets paid $75,000 a year and the other one gets paid 61. They're on the same team, working the same job, the same hours, with the same company on the same level, and they get paid within a little bit over $10,000. I mean, it's all about what you negotiate for. So for me, I went from making $13 an hour to salary making $50,000 an hour. And then it rose. Now, what it rose to, I won't talk about only because I'm still with it. Even with it rising, that's on the East Coast. That was in Ohio. That's pretty normal for Ohio when you get paid $50,000 a year as an entry-level developer. Plus, when I moved to the West Coast, the developer I am now is worth $150,000, and that's not in California. And the living, I think the percentage is only like a 16% difference. So you're talking about almost a triple increase in pay for entry level to what is that?
So 16% more cost of living, but 3 times the amount of money.
3 times the amount of money. Yeah. Wages across the board, I think, are good in our field.
I want to ask, did you negotiate for remote, or did they make you come to the office?
I can work from home. I won't say as much as I want. I won't say that. But I can work from home at least 1 day a week. If I have a conversation with my supervisor, hey man, 3 weeks ahead in this project or 2 weeks ahead in this project, do you mind if I work from home just to slow things down a little bit? You know, take care of some household things that I've been missing out on. I really want to spend some more time with the fam, things like that. You know, before I even finish my sentence, he's like, "Oh yeah, man, go ahead." It's not about taking advantage of someone's niceness or a manager's niceness. It's about getting your work done and about appreciating your position. My team, they need on-site resources. They need someone on site. And I appreciate that. I respect it. And I respect the time that I've had with them. And I respect the position. And I understand. I get it. Like, believe me. So for some companies, I mean, I can't see someone going in there expecting the same, like saying, "Hey, supervisor, do you mind if I work from home this week?" The answer's probably going to be no.
Why? But you just said that they were really flexible.
No, I said for someone else. Like, I can't see, like, I wouldn't want someone to expect going into a job that's not like the job I've been talking about. I wouldn't expect to, you know, Fifth Third or like a Walmart or something like that to be a developer and telling their supervisor, "Hey, do you mind if I work from home this week?" You know, I wouldn't expect them to expect a yes. Like, I don't want anyone to expect a yes to that because I'm only speaking for the company that I work for. I can't speak for them. So,
okay. So what are some things you learned on the job that you didn't learn?
So I learned about, I mean, really technical stuff, right? Like, mostly I learned at an enterprise level. Most companies buy whole code, like whole projects from other, or web apps from other companies, and then refactor it to be that company's face. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I didn't know that contractors or not contractors, consultants developer or application consultants can make up to $50 a minute. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I didn't know that you can be hired for one thing and do 50 other things, and it'd be totally okay with the company. And their expectation would be for you as a developer to expand yourself and grow yourself and take on these new responsibilities. I didn't know that 80% of the stuff you see on corporate world is displayed. People, damn near killing one another to rise up the corporate ladder and stuff like that. I didn't know. I've seen it happen, not a lot, but like with one or two people. But it's treated as if it's common. It's not tolerated necessarily, but which I assume is also common. But it's almost common amongst the murmurs of everyone in the office. I didn't know there were so many different types of data. I didn't know that. I didn't know that going in.
If people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Discord, Chris Not Nice. That's it. I deleted all of my. That's when I moved over here because I wanted to breathe. I had no bad things happening, or I wasn't hiding or anything like that. I just wanted to breathe, man. There was a lot going on. So.
Okay. Cool. Any last words to the people? That sounds bad. Any last
words? Code often. Do that. Don't lose your life. Like, it's okay to game. Don't let people tell you it's not okay to game. It's okay to have fun just in general, but you definitely got to regulate things, and you definitely got to keep life in perspective as far as where you want to be. You got to have a level of conviction about where you want to be. Sometimes it could seem like either Josh or some of the other guys are being really or sound crazy when they say things like, you don't have to work for a company. You can go out and make it shake for yourself or do things for yourself. There's a huge emphasis on being self-made, or even grouping up and really working on projects with friends and really making something pop from that. That comes from somewhere. It's not just random. I mean, that really is what I believe as well. You can really get out there and make something work for yourself. Like, I don't have to work for Nike. I can be the next Nike if that was the path that I wanted for myself. But the path that I do want for myself, I'm on it. It's just right now, I feel mad free. The grind never left. So, but yeah, man, this was a dope talk though.